Good morning, Falcon Pages. Hope you guys having a good day, and I hope 4th of July was good for all you guys. Yesterday, however, in that video, that another power plant was in the works for that for the Falcon. So I kind of wanted to go into what this engine is going to be about. Basically, it's going to be a 430 Windsor, 430 to 434, depends on where the bore, bore spacing on the block ends up. It's going to utilize a Dart Iron Eagle block, Lanati Signature Series crank, and Oliver I-beam billet rods, and Diamond Racing pistons. It'll be the Speedway series. The block is also, it's already been machined for a 55 millimeter cam core and 904 lifter bores. So that'll be the type of, that kind of will give you a little bit of purview on the type of camshaft that are going there. What I have here are the heads that will be going on that particular engine. So these are TRICKFLOW Specialties 225R twisted wedge, and these are a 15-degree intake valve and a 17-degree exhaust valve. These heads come from TEA, Total Engine Airflow, and they should be the goods. These heads will run Victory 1 titanium intake valve, and so these valves weigh. So we'll run the Victory 1 titanium intake valves, which have been weighed, and these valves are 95 grams. They're a 208 diameter, and then Ferrea stainless steel exhaust valves. So this will be what's helping power this motor. We plan on spinning it to about 7,500, 8 grand, just depends on the specifics on the cam. But given the design on the heads and the type of intake we'll be running, that'll really kind of, this motor should see 75 to 8 grand. Also, we're running packed springs. These will be the I want to say 165 diameter. So those are the springs that are good for 800 plus lift. So I'm thinking with these heads and the intake that we're running, we'll probably see somewhere in the mid 700s on the camshaft. It'll be a solid roller, and again, this engine is pretty much going to be primarily, we're hoping to run E85. In instances where I can't, if I live in a location where I can't access the 85, then I'll switch over to race fuel. So we're going to keep the compression ratio right under 13 to 1. So anywhere from like 12.75, 12.8 will be where the compression ratio will be. These heads, just to give a little specs on them, these heads, they flowed approximately, deposit. These heads flow at 700 lift on the intake, they flow 356 CFM, and at 700 lift on the exhaust, they flow 282 CFM. So again, these heads are some heavy hitter heads. My goal is, again, this is gonna be a street car. I'm not racing for competition. I don't do it for a living. This is just for fun. The 408 Windsor that's in the car now is fun. I feel like it's powerful, but I feel like I've also grown beyond I'm just used to the power, for lack of a better term. Some people say you can't run this stuff on the street, but watch me. This kind of setup will be on the streets. It's gonna have the quality parts to help it live. We're gonna give it the right type of fuel, and just build it right. If you build things right, use the right parts, and with the right expertise, you can make this happen. As far as folks running 700 plus lift in the cam that is ran on the streets, folks saying that's too much for the street, I believe that's an old way of thinking, and but one way or another we'll find out. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see these on there. So I'll let you guys get a real good look down the intake ports. And then take a look at the These are 64cc combustion chambers. I believe these are going to be milled 20,000s before they're bolted on the motor. And there'll be some work done for exhaust valve guide or intake and exhaust valve guide run out. That'll be verified for spec. Might have to have another set of headers made for the car because the exhaust ports on the twisted wedges are ½ inch higher than your normal traditional 20-degree cylinder head, and so probably have to have another set of headers made if the ones that are on there now won't work. Another thing I want to discuss right quick is there's been from all my research that I've kind of done on the TRICKFLOW heads between the high ports and the twisted wedge R's. Some folks really, it seems like there's a bit of a differing opinion. Some folks like the high ports, some folks like the twisted wedge. Twisted wedge with the valve angles that are leaned over make good power and typically don't require as much timing for them to be run versus the high port with a 20-degree valve. A lot of time requires a little bit more engine timing. There's no question that the high ports, top end wise and all out flow, can flow 800 lift no problem. These flow to about 750. So if you guys have ran any of you guys have ran a twisted wedge R or a high port, comment, let me know your opinions, your feedback, or if you know anyone who has, let me know, share that with me. But this is the way we're going with this. So again, basically, that's the way forward with the Falcon power plant. Again, we're looking to make, we're shooting for 750 on motor with the compression and the fuel, and then we're looking to do a 200 shot of nitrous. And I plan on keeping it in a manual transmission. So I don't know if the TKO 600 will hold up. Let me know if you guys think that will. I just put a McLeod RXT twin disc with their throwout bearing, the McLeod throwout bearing. It's been pretty good. That's rated to 1,000. So if any of you guys are running that kind of power on a manual transmission, let me know what you guys are doing. If it's held, I hear the TKO is a lot stronger than what it's rated at. Again, the current setup on the car is just a 408 Windsor hydraulic roller setup. It's got the Victor Jr. heads and Victor Jr. intake. The heads were ported and the intake was port matched. On the intake and exhaust ports respectively, they flowed 308 at 600 on the intake side and 225 at 600 on the exhaust side. I'm running the Mother Thumper cam with a 1:7 ratio rocker, and that has a 107 lobe separation. So by one of the 107 ratio rocker, it pretty much gets a little bit more lift and duration out of the cam. So with that particular combination, it leaves it specs out to 575 on the intake lift and 559 on the exhaust, with duration at 50 being 259 and 264. So that's pretty much it. It's a pretty stout setup. It's gone 119 in the quarter. I kind of feel like there's at least 2 to 3 more mile an hour in the setup. I got a couple dozen passes on the car, and it's been a turnkey, reliable street car for 6 years. I mean, and I've been in Nebraska with it. I've been in Northern California, Southern California, different climates. All I do is turn the key, pump the carburetor, and the thing cracks right open. So it's been reliable. I'm just looking to make some more power. The motor's also ARP studded, Moroso front sump, oil pan, Boss 351 block. So when I have this 434 Windsor built, I'll probably just pull the 408 out as a whole and just keep it on the engine stand. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with it at the time. I may put it into something else. I may revise it, or I may end up selling it. It just depends on what the offers are like. So that's pretty much it. So as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going away for a year with my job, with what I do for a living. So there probably won't be no content at least until the end of this year. Plan on doing a dyno of the 430 Windsor. So as soon as that's built, I definitely will post it. That'll be that's something to look forward to. So as the progressions come, pictures and all that stuff, I'll definitely let you guys in on that. And that's being built by a shop called California Street Machines in Sassoon City, California. So definitely appreciate what he's doing. A really cool guy who's building it. So I'm just happy and looking forward to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July. If there's any questions or any comments on what you guys think as far as the engine, or my application, street/strip, let me know, because I will be driving on the streets, freeways, highway pools, you name it. That's really kind of how I drive my cars now. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you.